My name is Dr. Laura Aguiar, and I'm a postdoc researcher here at UCC at the moment. So my background is in journalism. I worked as a journalist before in Brazil and in Sweden, where I lived before. I'm originally from Brazil. And in Brazil I worked with print journalism. I worked for a newspaper and a magazine, just local from my hometown. And then I lived in Sweden, where I did my master's, and in Sweden I worked with digital journalism. It was very different from working with print, because one of our main clients was Associated Press, which is a big news agency. And then from Sweden I moved to Northern Ireland, where I worked as, well, not I worked, I studied. I did my PhD there in a project called the Prison's Memory Archive, and the project was about making films together with the communities that were involved in, were caught in the conflict in Northern Ireland. And as part of my PhD research, I made a film about the women's experience of a male prison. The name of the film is We Were There, and the film has been screened all over the world since it was launched in 2014. So when I finished my PhD research in Belfast, I moved to Cork, because I got a job in a place called the Kane Centre here at UCC. It's a research centre that they do professional development courses, and one of my main responsibilities in this place was to work with marketing, not only to raise awareness to the brand, which was new when it was just being established, but also to sell some of the innovative programs that the research centre is doing. So I suppose what really connects all of these three really different experiences is my passion for storytelling. I have always been really, really interested in how stories are told, why they're told, and how they're told. So I got a chance to experiment with three different ways of telling stories. One through journalism, other through filmmaking, and now with digital marketing. So the course I'm teaching is named Reimagining the Media, New Pathways for Journalism, Filmmaking and Businesses. And I suppose this course is a result of all of these experiences I had with these different ways of telling stories through journalism, through filmmaking, and then through marketing. So this course is creating suppose an experience people in these three different areas to talk to each other. We're generally so busy inside our little bubbles, journalists working with journalists, filmmakers working with filmmakers, and then marketing people working with marketing people, and we don't get to hear each other and see what each other are doing. And we're doing really interesting things in different ways. So I suppose this course is a way of getting these different parts of storytelling, storytellers talking to each other and learning best practices, learning to ask big questions about what we're doing and why we're doing. So the course is going to be very beneficial, because when we think about digital technologies, we generally think that they are the best options when telling the stories. And actually, what this course is going to be doing is going to be asking many questions about, why are we telling the stories, how we're telling the stories, and who we're telling the stories with. We tend to get very easily seduced by all of the amazing things that interactivity and the digital world and the web can bring us. So the course is actually taking a step back and get people to ask the bigger questions before deciding how they're going to tell their stories. So it's going to be beneficial to anyone who wants to tell the stories in whatever way they want to do and for whatever purpose, if it's for journalism, if it's for filmmaking, if it's for marketing, or even if it's for just personal reasons. Sometimes people want to be telling stories about their own family. So it could be beneficial to anyone really who is looking for different ways of telling the stories and want to interact with projects which are really, really interesting and really creative, and not only in terms of the platforms they're using, but also in terms of how they are constructing the stories and when they're thinking about the audiences and what experiences they can create to the audience. So it's going to be beneficial because people will live with loads of food for thought after the course, and then also they're going to get to know the different funding opportunities that are available out there, also the different platforms. Some of them are cheap, some of them are expensive, and some are free. So they're going to leave the course knowing is actually how they can create the courses. But it's very important to say that the course is not going to be telling people this is the right way of telling the stories, but actually it's going to be opening up to the many ways the stories can be told and get people to think about the bigger questions before deciding how they're going to tell the stories.